Hi, it's Tracy Beld. I want to continue our daily sales vitamin on the conversation of follow up. And I realize I've been dedicating a lot of podcasts prior to when I stopped doing them for about 30 days. I was addressing follow up around the holidays. I want to keep on with follow up because I think it's an area we need to improve as an industry. It is severely lacking. People simply aren't doing it. And my belief is that there's two things. Number one, they're being pulled in 1,000 different directions and have a lot of job responsibilities. Number two, the other thing is they have call reluctance, fear of the telephone, and they don't have the proper tools to make their follow-up productive. They're facing a lot of rejection. They aren't getting anywhere. So they just say, you know what, I'd much rather go to the staff meeting than do follow-up, or whatever else is distracting them. So when we talk about follow-up, what I want you to remember is that it's very important to follow up with people when they're interested, which is when they're calling you and when they're visiting you. They're in the decision process. And yet most of our sales counselors in our industry will wait 7 to 10 days to make their first follow-up call after the tour, if they make one at all. And I got to tell you, I honestly, before we started doing our research, and we have a research firm, it's an arm of our company, it's called Build Research Institute. And before we started doing our research, I quite honestly thought that follow-up was better than it was. And I got to tell you, I am shocked. And if I had a community, I know it'd be full, because follow-up is the key. It's getting people in the door and then following up and delivering on a great service. So you have such an opportunity before you, because you do have a community. You are in a community. And I want to deliver the information that will educate you and empower you to do this effectively. So what you need to remember is that you have to follow up, and you have to follow up with urgency. That's not being aggressive. You're not twisting people's arms. It's not salesy. The way you follow up is very important. So you want to follow up early in the process while they're looking, not late after they've pretty much made their decisions and you're trying to salvage the sale. Do it when it makes sense, early on. And one of the great follow-up questions on your connection sheet, it's on your follow-up to a visit connection sheet, the first one you do in that week that they toured. One of the last questions is, Mrs. Smith, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm just kind of curious, with 10 being the highest, how would you rate your level of interest in our community as we kind of talk right now? Just think about that. How would you rate us on a scale of 1 to 10? So you notice it's very conversational. It's kind of coming top of mind. And just, if they lean in, body language and mirroring is a great technique in sales. It's proven to work. Some of you will be comfortable with it. Some of you won't. And what that means is, if she kind of goes, she leans in. If, let's say, you're in front of her, you might just lean in and kind of go like this. Now, it has to be very subtle. And again, it's just learning a new technique of selling. It's called body language or mirroring. And you might lean in and just wait. You just listen. And then if she sits back and goes, you know what? I would say it's a 7. Then you wait a second. Then you kind of sit back and you go, a 7. Okay. So what would need to happen to make it a 10? And then so you've slightly mirrored her body imaging. And I'll tell you, my husband does this to me, and it works. He'll make a joke out of it. He'll say, "You feel really close to me right now, don't you?" And maybe we've been on a date or something, and I'll say, "Yeah, I do." And he'll say, "I've been mirroring you." And we just both start laughing because it works. And you might want to experiment a little bit on your spouse first, or a best friend, or at a luncheon with a referral source. I'm telling you, watch how people bond more. It's very interesting. Remember, you want to be subtle. So when she says it's a 7 and you say what needs to happen to make it a 10, this is them telling you what you need to do to get them to move in. So depending on what they say, your rate is about $400 more than the other place I'm looking at, or I don't know, I just need more time. Or they might say, yeah, I just am a little worried that your population here is older than, what my father is, and that he's going to feel like I've stuck him in an old folks home. Well, whatever they say, that's your big obstacle, and you've got to pick it up and move it out of the way. And the way you do that is by asking lots of great open-ended questions. So if they say the age demographic seems a lot older, then you might say, well, tell me more about that. Now, your father is how old again? He's 86. Okay. And he's 86. And what kind of things does he do now when he's socializing with his friends? Oh, he goes to the VA. He goes to the Moose Lodge. Okay. And can I just ask, how old do you think the people he's interacting with there are? How old are they? Well, good point. They're probably the same age. Okay. Do you ever go with him to those places? No, no. Okay. So maybe for you, it's a little overwhelming because, we have a lot of seniors here. We love them. We let them use their walkers because they need them. If they want to take a nap in the lobby, it's fine. This is their home, or they can go to their apartment, but we let them do what they want. For your father, it's probably not going to be such a shock because he is around a lot of people his age. He can relate to them. To you, it might feel a little more uncomfortable. So, I'm just trying to get you to think about, is it more uncomfortable to you, or do you think it's going to be more uncomfortable to him? Which do you think it might be? So what I'm doing is I'm minimizing the obstacle by talking through it, by asking lots of open-ended questions and utilizing their answers. I'm not going to convince anybody of anything. My goal is to ask them questions, get them excited to buy what we have, because we know that we're going to deliver and make their lives better and relieve the guilt of the child and the stress of the child and let them know that they are making the right decision. So try that scale question. And you can use it anywhere. You can use it on follow-up calls. You can use it on the initial tour at the end of that visit. Maybe if you feel like you're struggling, pull that one out. It works. Make it light, make it fun. And don't just try it once. Give yourself a good 10 tries to get comfortable with it and then determine if you want to continue using it. So just another technique today. It's the scale, 1 to 10. Hope you enjoy it. Alrighty, thank you.